Now the next technique I'd like to cover, it's called spattering technique. And on the blog you'll see there's images by Toulouse-Lautrec where he uses color specks in his images. There's also the ones by Duchamp and John Sloan that use ink. I'm first going to demonstrate how to do it in ink so you can see how it looks, because the way we're going to do it is in watercolor, and it's very subtle in watercolor. Okay, so what we're going to use, here's a toothbrush from the dollar store. It was a 4-pack of toothbrushes for $1. So this is, I won't brush my teeth with these, but it's great for painting, all right? And if you do not have an old toothbrush, you can use a screen, like a colander screen, and I'm going to show you how to use this too, okay? So these are your two options for your spattering technique, all right? First I'm going to demonstrate the right way with the toothbrush. And I'm going to use a toothbrush and a wood, any kind of wooden stick. You can get a stick from outside, you can use a spoon handle, this is an old paintbrush handle, okay? And you're going to have your toothbrush dry, all right? There's no water in this toothbrush. And I'm demonstrating this in ink right now, but we're going to do it in watercolor. So for the ink, I'm going to dip in my toothbrush, all right? I'm going to put my stick diagonally over my paper, and then I'm going to spatter it, okay? Can you see that? Now the direction that you go is where the spatter is going to end up. So if I change direction, that way I went up, this way I'm going to go down, and that gives me a more dramatic spatter, okay? So either way. Now when we do it on our images, we're not going to use ink, okay? So let me clean this off because I only have one toothbrush here. We are going to use our watercolor, and what you're going to see is that I'm going to create a little pile of paint with water, okay? See how I'm going back and forth there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I can go this way, get my green in there, and go the other way. And depending on how much water you use, you can make a super fine spatter, okay? This is more dramatic, that's more dramatic, but look how fine this spatter is right here, okay? If you do not have a toothbrush, I want to show you how to do that. You're going to use a screen, okay? And this I'm just going to show you in ink. But I'm taking like a stiff brush, like let's say you have a sibling that, you know, still does kid painting. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water, not a lot. In this case, I'm dipping it in the ink. And then I'm basically wiggling it back and forth, okay, in there. If you do this with your watercolor brush, you're probably going to pull some hairs out. All right? And here you can see how subtle, this is even more subtle tonality that you can create, okay? Now the object of doing the spatter is that it's a way to unify your image, okay? So you're going to start out with washes, you can add some dry brush, and the spatter is last. And what I'd like you to do, this is how I'd like you to proceed. Do your background first, put it in washes, add any dry brush that you want to do, okay? And before you add like a piece of furniture, you're going to do your spatter technique to unify your background. And you can see, I don't know if this shows up, but you can see here I add a yellow spatter, and I added a little orange spatter to kind of unify those tones. But I still left the brightest areas white. Okay? Now let's say that you only want your spatter up here and you want to leave this white here. You're going to take your paper towel. You're going to gently rip all the edges. Create a very soft edge. And let's say I don't want it here. I'm going to put it here. I can tape it if I want to. To sort of hold it in place there. And do my spatter on top of this. And then I'll be able to remove this and that area will still be white. So let's say that you had done spatter technique over your washes, you've added dry brush back there, and you've already put your piece of furniture in. But now you don't want your piece of furniture, you know, let's say I have a chair here. Now you don't want this to get spatter on it. This is what you can do. Okay, you can gently cover it, make sure you have a very rough edge to your paper towel, and then do the same technique. You're going to take this, go over with the watercolor, and spatter it. Okay? Spatter around it, I should say. And this is going to protect that area so you don't have to worry about going over your point of focus too much. Okay? So work on the background first. Try the 3 different techniques in the background. Then you're going to add your furniture, or you know, whatever, the bed, the table. Okay. You're going to add washes to those, possibly do some dry brushing. Okay. And then you may protect that area if you need more spatter, let's say on the grass in the foreground. All right, so just to go over it again, work on the masses in the background. All right. And then add your pieces of furniture. The only dilemma about it is you have to kind of know where that furniture is going to go before you start manipulating the background. So always sketch it in pencil so that, like I said, if you don't want spatter to get there, you're protecting it. Okay?